Hello everyone. Sorry, just getting things set up. I am Jacob, and I believe we should be good to get started on painting some miniatures today. So, looks like I'm just gonna check the audio real quick. I believe that everyone is going to be able to hear me. If anything is wrong with the audio, especially like the volume or anything like that, just let me know. But I think we can go ahead and get started now. Let's just see this. So today we will be painting a lot of Zombicide miniatures. I have a few over here to go through. With them, I have all the painting. Just see. There we go. I have all of the pictures up online from the Zombicide website, and I will be attempting to recreate them as best I can. So, the way that I do the painting, I normally do it with, one color by color. Oh wait, let me make sure to share my stream a little bit and put this up on a few places, and then we can go ahead and get started. Alrighty. Oh, that is my hand. Okay, so to begin with, let's see, we've got this, add a little bit of water in the middle. So all these figures are primed already. So all I need to do is get started on painting them. Let's see, who to start with, or technically for me, what color to start with. I believe I usually do these in in terms of the different, one color at a time for all the different miniatures. That way it's a little bit easier on wasting paint and all that kind of stuff. So, that being said, I think a pretty good theme to go for will be the base coats on at least the ones. I have a few of them that are already getting to be done. Oh, I'll also post on Discord. That, and one last thing with the lights. Go. All right. So there are a few of these characters that are of particular importance. So we've got this one, we've got Ostacar over here, we've got this dude right here, as well as this one right here. Where is she? There she is. Got this one right over here. So we'll be playing a Zombicide Black Plague stream at some point pretty soon, and so one of our friends is going to play one of these two. So this is going to be Greg. These two are going to be Greg's characters, playing one of them at a time. Then we have over here, and where's Falstaff? Where is Falstaff? Should start. Oh, there he is. These two are going to be played by another friend of ours, right there. And then one of my friends is going to be playing this guy right here. Another one's going to be playing Ostacar right here. And I need to paint the this dude who is the Necromancer in order to get this all done. And yeah, there we go. So let's go ahead and begin. I think I'm going to start with this one right here. Let's see what kind of colors he needs. So that's Ostacar. He needs, oh, I'll just show you guys. I have the cards with all the different people over here. And Ostacar is right there. So he needs a kind of a pinkish skin. I don't really like going for the pink. I prefer going for more of the light, like really pale skin. But it looks like he's got almost white hair and these blackish robes. So let's go ahead and start with that. And so, skin tones first. Got my Vallejo paints, so let's see which ones to use for this. These are the skin tones I have over here. That's browns, gold. That's what that is. Here are some skin tones. So we've got some suntan flesh. This one is some Caucasian flesh. Ah, maiden flesh. That's the one that I wanted. So let's take a look at that. Put these over here. And now some of this maiden flesh. Oop, shake it up a little bit first. And there we go, a few dots of that. Don't want to use too much. And now he is mostly covered. I also have these up on my other monitor because I can get some bigger pictures. Okay, so he's mostly bare up top, so that means that we can use a little bit of a larger brush for the beginning part. So let's get started. Add a little bit of water to it, just to get it all over. I'm pretty new to miniatures painting. I haven't done it for a very long time, but I've been really enjoying it so far. And I think it would be cool just to share with you guys the process of painting the miniatures, because we will be playing the game Zombicide on stream at some point. So, actually pretty soon, hopefully. So, I figured it might be nice to go ahead and show you guys how I paint these. Of course, any kind of suggestions would very much be appreciated. If you think I am doing something wrong, as I said, I am pretty new to this, so I would be glad to learn something new. Feel free to put that in the chat, either in YouTube or on Twitch, both of which I am monitoring. So there I am. Yep, got that right there. So yeah, feel free to let me know what you think. Make sure that he's pretty pale. Sorry for that. I know that that was a knock on the microphone. Make sure to keep it in frame for you guys. Few thinner coats, so I add a little bit of water to the paint so that it can be a little bit of a thinner coat, and I'd rather do a few coats of that rather than just one coat of thicker paint, because that allows me a little bit more control. So let's see, a little bit there. He's got pretty much the whole side of his head bare, so there's that. He's wearing gloves, so that's decent coverage over there. Got most of him done. Just make sure that this focus is correct. There we go. See that pretty well, I think. Over here, make sure to get into all the little cracks and crevices so that not too much white is showing. And everyone, please let me know what how the music is, if it is too loud or anything like that. I'd be glad to put it down or put it up based on what you all say. Okay. all the little spots right there. Get the back of the ears as well. Okay, there we go. Pretty good so far. First coat, base of some maiden flesh on this one. These are Vallejo paints for anyone who's interested. They're, you know, a little bit of a good compromise between the pigmentation, which is really good, and price, because they're a lot less cheaper than many of the wargaming paints. So I really like using them because of that. Looks like I missed a little bit under his arm over here. Just make sure that's there. I have also no idea what kind of music this is, but you know, it's a mix that I found. Alright, so that's the flesh on that one. Let's see, who else have we got that has some lighter flesh tones? So, we've got Ostacar, already got the flesh tones for them. These two I should remove for the moment. Some dark skin over here. They all seem to be a little bit darker skinned. Already had her done. Okay. So, let's actually take a look at the Necromancer real quick. Because I think he might also be a little bit of a sickly pale kind of thing. So... yeah, it looks like I can give him a little bit of a lighter paint job, so let's go ahead and go with him for a little bit more of this color here. This dude has some bare head, so he's got bare head and a beard. So let's start with this. That. Get his ear. Get his cheekbones a bit. Of course, right now I'm just doing like base coats of color. This is all going to get a lot more detailed as it goes on. Let's get his fingers over here. Got some bare hands. A little bit much on the paint there. I'm going to have to take some off. Let's make sure to paint there and then go here, go over a little bit more. That, alright. a little bit more over here. Right. And should be just about done with color. There we go. All right. That guy is done. Oh, let me just double check with what color his skin should be. Since this guy is mostly skin, but it looks like he's a little bit darker. Seems almost like darker and grimier. So I think that next I'm gonna start adding a little bit more grime and like darkness to the skin. Because I've got a few others that really need a nice base coat there. All right, let's clean off this brush. Hello everyone, thanks for joining the stream. I see a few other people have joined. We're just starting some painting some Zombicide miniatures. I do this in a way that's pretty much just different colors at a time. So I started with Ostakar over here. I gave him a little bit of some flesh tones. Looks like I do need to give it a little bit of a touch up over here. I missed a few spaces. There we go. Let's see, over here, right at the very edge. All right. Now I think I'm going to darken the color a little bit, get some more of the other miniatures painted. Let me know if anything, music or anything like that is wrong with the chat. Just let me know. I'd be glad to change it. So I think for the other people, I can add a little bit of this suntan flesh here by Vallejo. This should give me a little bit of a darker skin tone, even though I don't want it to be fully as dark as the actual suntan flesh. So let's go ahead and mix that up a little bit. I have like 2 dots of that in there. Let's see if I like this. Almost. I think that it might need a little tiny bit more. Let's add a few more dots of this one. There we go. I think I like that. So this is going to be the color that I'm going to paint this guy right here, Jorgund. So let's see how this looks. down a bit. I think I like that. I think it fits his person. I'm of course going to make it a little bit more grimy later on when we get to the details, but we need the base coats of all the colors first. Because in his portrait he looks almost like covered in dirt and grime, so we'll have to add that for sure. So I wonder what language it's in. It seems Slavic, and I know Polish, so there's that. I kind of like understand like some of the words that are coming out. Something about like dreams and that kind of thing, but it's not fully Polish, so I can't understand the whole thing. Hard part is always getting like these little parts that are really deep or like in really awkward positions where brushes are hard to get into, at least very precisely. Oh. And you always have to be careful of not putting too much paint in there. Sure that the side over here is painted. Little areas like that. There we go. I mean, that's not looking too bad at all, if I do say so myself. These little areas, crevices over there, because you know, can't have any of these be unpainted. That. Nope. A lot of things about the devil in this playlist, it seems. It's just a Peter Hollins playlist, so I don't know why. But I guess it's the style of music. Alright. Upper body looks pretty decently for a base coat. Let's add some here for his legs. Right. Okay, there we go. Looks pretty good. Let's get the back of his leg over here. Just like that. There's a really annoying part in there that seems to be, it's going to be very difficult to get. Huh. Looks like this got Alright. Let's see, there we go. That I think should do it for his face, of course. Can't forget the face. But I think I'm going to use a bit of a smaller brush for the base coat for the face, because that'll give me a little bit more control. Let's see. We do want, his brow ridge over here covered. We can, of course, many of these problems with the base coat will be fixed when I get to the other, like the beard colors and that kind of stuff. But it's good to have these kind of coats on there first. So let's go ahead and give him on there, around his mouth area as well. Looks like I have a little bit too much. Let's try to soak some of that up. Because I don't want to blur out too much of the detail. There we go. Done a little bit much on that. Add a little bit there. Make sure that the base coat is nice and doesn't have to be fully even, but at least covering everything. Okay. I knew I was missing a spot. Right there on the legs. Just right there, this little spot. Very hard to get to and easy to overlook. Right there. For anyone in the stream, just let me know if the music is too loud, anything like that, or if you can't see, just go ahead and let me know. I'd be glad to change anything up. I am working on these miniatures in order to prepare them for when we play Zombicide Black Plague, and that is also going to be done on stream, most likely. So, you know, we'd like to have you in for the entire process. You should like and subscribe, or, you know, if you're on Twitch, just give a follow, and we would be very, very grateful. And let me make sure that I have my alerts and that kind of stuff. I haven't really set too much up, but you know, I still can tell when someone has followed. Okay, now I've got this dude right here. He also has, I believe, some darker skin. Let's take a look at his card. Let's see, he is this one right here. Almost has a little bit more of a brown tinge to it, or grayish. But I think I might be able to do that through the washes rather than the actual skin tone. But I might alter it anyway, because both of these guys have that sort of a type of coloring. I think I need a little bit, I need the skin to be a little bit more ashen and gray for this guy. So let's see if I can do that. Concrete gray. All right, I think I'm gonna add just a dot of concrete gray to that. A little bit. There we go. Mix that up, see how that looks. Take it away from some of the warmer tones, give it a little bit of a more ashen tone. That looks like it needs more than just a dot of that. Yep. This is the guy that I am working on the skin tone for this guy. For anyone just joining or curious, it's getting there. It's definitely getting there. But I think I still need another droplet of gray. There we go. That's a color that I think will match. So let's clean off the brush, make sure not to have too much on there. Then we'll get started on him. Let me pull him up real quick on here so I have a bigger picture to work from. I do have the Zombicide pictures open so that I can see them a little bit better than on the small cards. It's a really nice miniature. This is actually, I think, my favorite miniature in all of Zombicide Black Plague. I really do like his design. So let's go ahead and give him a coat of this. There we go. Yeah, that is, I think, a perfect kind of color for someone who looks like that. I like it. All right. Try not to get too much on the hair. I mean, if it does, it does, and then I will just have to paint over it. But since I will be painting over it with a red, because he is a redhead, I don't know how well that will work. So I would rather just try to get as little on his hair as possible. But he does have a full bare back here, so that's a little bit easier. It gives me some leeway on the painting. Just like that. Okay. There we go. I think that this ashen skin kind of color definitely does match what they have on the images, which I like. Trying to be as faithful to those as I can, though there are some design choices like with Ostakar. I don't really like the pink skin, so I went for a more just ashen or just pale. So these guys, though, I think that the ashen type skin makes sense. Make sure to get into the crevices and all that of the skin, the muscles and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's surprising that I actually like these more than some of the other ones because I normally play spellcasters and people that are not any kind of barbarianish type people. But in this case, I think I might be playing this guy. We'll see how party comp comes out, though. Let's see, is he? No, he's not wearing gloves. These are his hands. He just has these braces on there, so I should be able to paint these as well in this skin color. Make sure not to cover up too much of the detail. A good coat, but does not have to be dripping wet, of course. I'm gonna have to get his like bare chested area too, but that's gonna use a little bit of a smaller brush because I don't want to get too much in there. He's got a few other things on, so. Go. These awkward parts because, you know, they all need all this detail, but it can be a bit awkward trying to get in and paint all of it. The bottoms of the fingers, the sides of the hands, all that can be a difficult thing to get into. Of course, I'm also new, so I'm sure that there are some great tips and tricks for that out there. But you learn with experience. And if anyone has any tips, of course, I would love to hear them. There we go. I think that those hands might be pretty good, covered in the base coat. Now let's go ahead and do his legs. These guys, I think, from this set. So this is from one of the guest boxes for Zombicide Black Plague. And these are actually designed by one of the designers for Lord of the Rings. Like the people who helped design all the different things for Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings interpretation. So, I mean, there's no wonder that I like those, because I really liked the movies themselves. And they just have like this kind of, it's almost like he took dwarves as an idea and then like stretched them out into Norse, because that's what they almost feel like. They almost have a similar feel to Gimli, and like being very stoic and that kind of stuff. And Gimli was always one of my favorite characters, even though he pretty much didn't serve that much of a purpose other than some comedic relief. But that doesn't, doesn't hurt, does it? Can you see any of his face in here? I think you can a little bit, so I'm gonna have to cover that as well. That's gonna be difficult. All right, let's finish the legs up then before we get there. Let's see. There we go. Right. Back of the leg is pretty easy, but the front has an axe that is pretty much on top of it. So, let's see. Try to not cover the axe too much. Anything? That. Add a little bit over here to his knee. Getting a little bit on the axe. Make sure to get into that little crack there. Luckily, I think I'm gonna do, oh, it looks like the axe is pretty bright silver. So, we will see. I think that shouldn't be a problem. Let's touch up any parts here that seem to be bleeding a little bit too much white. There we go. Now I have to get some very tiny details on his face. So let's see how this will work. Take one of my ultra tiny brushes and let's see. So he's got a little bit right over here that's supposed to be skin colored. Just that. Okay. And then one on the other side. There we go. You can even see that a little bit. It seems to look pretty good. Yeah, matches pretty well, I think. Alright, so let's go let him dry off a little bit and start on his buddy. So clean that off. He's got this guy as a buddy right here who shows a little bit less skin, but also has that same ashen gray skin type. So let's go ahead and get started on him. Stretch a little bit. You know, bending over for long periods of time is never the best for you. I'm gonna bring him up here. Nope, not you. There you are. His name is Dravok the Hewer, because apparently he could probably hew people into little tiny bits. I would not want to meet with him on a battlefield, at least not on the opposite side. So, let's start with this big old arm of his. Just like that. Make sure not to get too much on his golden bracelet. I think I have some nice tarnished gold that I can use for these kinds of jewelry pieces, which seem to be golden or brass or of some sort. Oh man, this song. Love the song. I think that Peter Holland's version of it is one of my favorites. It's funny, I've never seen any of the movies that it's from, the Hunger Games movies, but the song itself is great. I would actually love to incorporate it into some D&D sessions, because I think that it would be really cool to like have a song playing that the players actually have to pay attention to. Like a bard would be playing the song in a tavern, and I'd play it, and then it would be like clues to the actual you know, what's going on, or like where to go and that kind of stuff that they would have to figure out. Speaking of D&D, we're also going to have at some point or other a live stream of D&D, so on this channel you'll be able to see some live streaming of Zombicide Black Plague, painting of the miniatures for that. I'm sure that I'm going to also be doing painting of the Scythe miniatures on stream, so if you're interested in any of that, please give a follow. I would be doing that, probably, you know, having 1 or 2 streams a week. I'm not going to be doing it all too often, but you know, take a look if you have anything on, you know, checking out YouTube, checking out Twitch. Stopping by is very much appreciated. Also, if anyone is interested, we do run a podcast. I run a podcast about board games mostly. We do some talk about D&D and that kind of stuff. We did a Pandemic Legacy live stream, which I am trying to condense into a more manageable time because it took us about a whole 16 hours to play it. And we tried to do it we did it in one sitting on tabletop day. So there is that, and we're trying to get into video and streaming and that kind of stuff. So check out the podcast, is where it all started, and we hope that you like the other stuff that we're going to be doing with it. I know that I enjoy the whole streaming aspect. I'm a big fan of many Twitch streamers, so also, do I have the Discord link? I believe. Well, yeah, I do. The Discord link down in the description if anyone wants to join. It's just very small Discord now. We'll be talking about board games, chatting, anything like that. Feel free to join. Okay. His legs are bare as well, so let's take a look and start doing some of those. There we go. Make sure to get the inside of the leg as well, on both legs. This one as well, just like that. There we go. I think the rest of him is... his face. Again, the face. This time it's almost half covered by his arm, so it's going to be even trickier. But again, job for, as they like to call it here, the Psycho brush. Because it is so tiny. But it's one of my favorite brushes so far. Let's see, his nose. Then around his eyes and cheekbones a little bit. Also another redhead. Nice to get some diversity. Okay, don't want to go too much over there. And then let's just add a little bit around his mouth to give it that color in there. Even though I know it's not very detailed. That'll be good, I think. Alright, let's touch up a little bit there. Looks like a little bit is bleeding through there. Like that. Make sure to get it all nice and covered. Because hell if I'm going to be able to make this too much more. Downside of just like mixing paints as I go is that I don't really have that much of a formula for it. But you know, it is what it is. Just gives it some more tones, even if it doesn't give it a little bit of the evenness that you would expect. Not bad. Not bad if I do say so myself. Okay. That is the skin tone for those guys down. Let's see, who else do I have to do the skin for? I've got to do the skin for, let's see, this dude. So he's got some really dark gray skin. Let's see, there he is. He's pretty much a dark elf, so I'm gonna need some, honestly it would probably be ashen with just a little bit of other things. This dude, it's a little bit rosier than I expected. Probably should have done him earlier. Well, that sucks. So that's those two. But I also have, in terms of skin tones, I've got to do this guy. Now this guy, he's a fun character. Let's see where his card is. He's got a goat. I do not have his card with me, which is strange. Let me go grab that real quick. So this is him. You know, looks pretty nice. Nice guy, big nose. Well, so you can see that this is in a different language. I just grabbed the card. I have the other cards somewhere, but I think I'm gonna give him the same kind of skin tone as his two buddies. Better picture on the back. There we go. So these all three of these came from the same set. This guy does not have as much skin showing. Actually, it's only the front of his face and like the top of his hands on the thing. Okay. That means I'm just going to go straight for the small brush.
This miniature has a lot of cool detail. That also means a lot of things to paint in different ways. Okay. Just like that. Just make sure that this is focusing correctly. Might have to switch my cameras at some point. Use the one that I use for face cam right now in the detail cam. I think it's a little bit of a better camera. Both of them are webcams. I think I might have more control over one than the other. So it's just a little bit of a better quality. But I can do that for the next stream. Soak up some of this. Make sure that there's enough paint on there, but take out some of that so it keeps the detail. Yeah, just like that. Alright. I think he's covered in robes the rest of the way. Alright. That being the case, I have two more guys to do for. Excuse me. Stretch a little bit. Okay. This guy's got more of the rosy cheek appearance. And this dude is a little bit more, sorry for the mic, ashen gray. Let me just check real quick on some of my social others things. Let's see. Just one thing. No, not what I wanted. Alrighty. Let's get on to the next color scheme, I guess. I would say, what colors should I do next? Actually, let's take a look at the Abomination real quick. So we have the Abomination, which is this dude right here. And I've got to paint him somehow. Or in some kind of a color scheme. Which one
is the good question. Because they have a color scheme here for him, but it's not my favorite. Not sure if I like the fully flesh tone kind of golem look for him. And he is mostly skin. Maybe I should do this kind of color. These guys. Or actually, I think I might add a tiny bit of green to that and give him a little bit of a sickly appearance. I like that. Let's see. Scaly hide green. These are some weapons. Combat fatigues. Elf green. Moldy clothing. Moss green. Meadow green. Turf green. Lady skin. I think I might go with some scaly hide. Oh, running over my own cables. Okay. There we go. So let's add a little bit of scaly hide to this paint, if it comes out. Just add a little bit of that. Okay, cool. So that's Wargamers paints, or War paints, yeah. They have a whole set for the regular Zombicide. I haven't checked for the Zombicide Black Plague ones, but I'm sure that they're probably going to come out with one, since there is enough there for painting. As you can see, these are just a few of the figures that can be painted. Let's see, come on. Hopefully it mixes in decently well. Now let's see, how does this look? It's almost like a greenish gray skin. Now let's see how this looks. Let's move that over there. Let's start with his arms a little bit. Oh. Do I like this? It's a good color. Let's just compare real quick to some of the other miniatures that I've done so far. So I got this dude right here. This lady, technically. I think that that's decently comparable. Might actually add just a tiny bit of the maiden flesh to this to lighten it up a little bit. Or actually, no, Caucasian flesh, I think. Yeah, Caucasian flesh. I'll give it a bit more of that color. So I think I got overpowered by the green a little bit. So let's try that. I think I like that a little bit better. It's a little bit of a lighter color. Okay. Yep, don't want to go over too much of the clothing on here. He's got some bone spikes in there in his arms. Ripping through like whatever's left of the clothing when he became an abomination.
sickly kind of green skin, which I think will be nice. Or for an abomination, anyway. Appropriate, I guess, would be more of the right term than nice. And luckily, this guy's pretty big, so I'll be able to use up a lot of the paint that I have left. And then I can move on to some more interesting parts, not just the skin. Let's see. One of my friends just messaged me. Or my buddy from the stream, or from the podcast. What do we got? Awesome. Thanks, Greg, for sharing the link to the stream. Hopefully some of our actual listeners and other viewers will join us. Seems I didn't prime this guy amazingly. Hopefully that won't be a problem. Welcome to anyone who is watching the stream. Feel free to, say hello in chat. Hope everyone is enjoying it. We are just painting some miniatures for Zombicide Black Plague. Right now I'm working on the Abomination. So This is one of the baddies. I've also been doing some skin tones and that kind of thing for most of the other miniatures. And I like to paint pretty much color by color so that I don't waste too much paint and, you know, give everyone the same colors for certain things. I need to water this down a little bit. A lot more area to cover on this dude than I expected. Forget that he is pretty much all just skin. He is one of the larger miniatures, at least in the base game. Base game, I think he might be the largest miniature. You get the expansions, you get some more big ones. Might be painting out later on, depending on how the stream goes. So I've got like an Abomina wolf, I think, something like that. It's a werewolf abomination kind of thing. So it's pretty large. I've got it all primed and ready to paint. I think it's one of the more fun abominations, or at least in terms of looks. But let's see. Seems to have one leg in. So this leg seems to be covered. And this leg is not. So this leg I need to cover in skin color. Problem with the artwork that they have online in general for this game is that they only show the front view. So sometimes it can be very annoying trying to know what is happening in the back. This guy is not very well attached, it seems. Oh, this I've never heard before. I have no idea what this is. Whenever I hear this song, I can only think of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson doing lip sync to this. It is one of the most hilarious things that I know. Alright. Let's see. So parts of this are like bony almost. So they're gonna need some lighter, kind of bony colors, like the spikes and that kind of stuff. See? Gotta make sure to get into the crevices. Oh, whoops. Looks like his feet are both bare. That. I've got to do something with his face area. That's going to need a smaller brush. All right. Pretty sure his face is mostly going to be get it into these little grooves right here. It's hard to tell from the picture which part is bony and which part is actually skin. And then there are like the small like bits of tattered clothes as well. So sometimes that can be difficult. I think this area over here is all bony, but then over here
which seems to be being a little bit annoying on my browser. Let's see, just reload just in case anyone is commenting. Stream still doing good, alright. Huh. Shockwave is being annoying. What a surprise. There we go, that's better. So yeah, I've got this. Abomination seems to be almost done with the skin color anyway. Just gotta figure out if there are any other parts here based on the image that really need some. It seems like for the most part it's just these small like hole areas. There. So a lot of this seems to be the cloth. Just put a little bit more on the face then. Like that. Because I think this area over here is all going to be like bony spikes. Get some in there. Okay. There we go. Skin color abomination. There we go. Cool. Next, let's take a look at start with a different color now. Now we've got the skin tone for pretty much everyone. I think I'm gonna go for some browns next because I think a lot of these people have kind of a brown theme to them. So like leather, plus I can touch up some of the other ones. Yeah. Let's take a look at this one actually. Her. She seems to be almost done. But I think I need to add some brown highlights of different sorts. It's like her pants and that kind of stuff. In the back, it's a little bit more. Yeah, brownish tan kind of color. Yeah, I like brown. I think that's going to be the next one. Let us take a look at all of my colors. Great splatter seems a bit dark. Ashen brown. Oh, ashen brown might actually be the right one for this. Let's go ahead and move that over. Ooh, yeah, I think that that's the right color that we need. So let's go ahead and start slightly
Let's go with this brush, I think. Nice and... There we go, that's good. I think I'm gonna start on this side. Yeah, that is the color I want. It's almost like a tan, leathery color, but not quite. Yeah, I really like this color for ashen brown. I think that might be one of my favorite ones for this type of application, because it gives me this kind of unique, different brown and tan color, which I like quite a bit. Actually, I really like some of the colors on her, especially like that like purplish brown that you see there. It's like almost a purplish leather, and I really like that color. That was one, of course, that I had to mix, that I probably will never be able to mix again, because it was all different combinations of different kinds of browns, and purple pigments and that kind of stuff. But that's why I did it on everybody that needed it. Also, I had to be very careful not to go over it too much. Just right over here. Bring her up. There she is. That, and I think she needs a little bit. Here, I need the really tiny brush for this. Just for right over here. Oh. That is the issue with some of this, like, sticky tack can get old sometimes. This one's been on here, plus it has a little bit of a bend in the cardboard, so it can be a little bit annoying. Yeah, just like that, okay. And then, just, I think it needs a little bit more over here. that up. Okay. Yeah, I like that. There. Just little details, little small pieces. Let's see. I think I'm going to use the same color for this like back strap that she has right over there. I like that. Let's take a look. Just got some of the details here. Now these are the hard parts, like right there in between. Trying not to get over everything. I think that should be good. Alright, I'm going to put her down for one moment. I have to run to the bathroom real quick, guys. I will be back in a second.
Alrighty, back now. I also have to grab a little bit of food, some bagel. And where were we? Oh yeah. We were just doing some more on her. So she's got some belts over here. Those little white areas. We've got to do something with those. First though, I think I'm going to switch. Sorry for the tap. To this. I think she'll stick a little bit better on it. All right. All right. Some of the detail, the minutia over here is a little bit, going to be a little bit fudged. So let's go ahead and do that over there. Looks like I missed a little piece right over here. What color is that supposed to all be? I think that that's all supposed to be like part of the like leather belt and that kind of thing. So let's go ahead, start with that. Make sure to get that all covered. And this little line right here. I think this might be another pouch of hers over here. So let's go ahead and give that kind of color. Oh, if anyone heard that, that was some people jumping into the pool, I think. Or having some fun outside the window. One moment, guys. All right, sorry about that. I just didn't want to be eating too much on screen. I know some people don't like that. All right.
Let's make this all the little bags this color, I think. Actually, I think I'm pretty happy with how that is looking. All right. This little line over here. All right. Should use a little bit more of that on here. Okay. Still needs a little bit more up front by the belts, but I think I'm gonna go with some other colors for that. No, I think I'm gonna add one more with this kind of color. There we go. All right. So who else has this kind of color that I can use? Ashen gray might work well for a lot of parts of this guy. Maybe even some for him. That seems a little bit darker. How much do I have done for her already? So this is what I have for her. And I really just need to do her hair and this like back of the sword thing. It's really annoying because it doesn't show that, so I don't know what color it's supposed to be. I should really remove these two because I don't have the miniatures ready for that. This guy, the goat might be actually close to this color. Her, I don't have the miniature ready either because I broke it. I could do some parts of him. Probably his boots, so let's leave these two out. And then let's also take this guy out. And then I don't think so. No. This dude would, but I already have most of his stuff done. This guy as well. Ooh, this guy. I think those inner robes could be based on that color. I think I'm going to start with him. So, let's go ahead and take a look at this dude right here. I think I'm going to use that color that I was just using. So let's get to it. I believe that this inner robe will likely be this color. It's like this ashen brown kind of thing. There we go. So trying not to get too much onto the other part, because of course I don't remember exactly which color that is. Problem with doing miniatures over time and doing them with my technique, which is just one color at a time for everyone that needs it, is, well, you forget what you put where. Which, I mean, can be an issue. But again, whole thing was a bit of a learning experience. It's a lot of fun though. I like painting miniatures. It's definitely a new hobby of mine, but I think it'll be worth it when I get to play some of these games like Zombicide, Black Plague with fully painted miniatures and all that, and you get to actually see them all done, which is always fun. I played it, I have a lot of the regular zombies done because, well, I wanted to get some of the regular zombies in as practice before I started going for any of the actual minis that have people that I will be playing, because I can easily mess up a zombie and not care too much. Versus these, each being unique, I mean, there are cards and all that kind of stuff. They're a little bit more, a little bit less forgiving, I'd say, in terms of my own opinion of them. So I started with the zombies, and I played recently with the miniatures that were painted, and it was a lot of fun. Surprisingly, it does actually make quite a bit of a difference when they are painted versus when they are not. Makes the game almost feel finished when you just use finished painted miniatures. Problem is that illusion's broken when you don't have some of like everything painted. But you know, it is what it is. That's why I'm doing these right now, so that we can actually play with some actually fully painted miniatures. I'll have the Necromancer, I'll have the some characters done. I will have, what else? The actual zombies, the which other ones? The runners I'm also gonna have to do before we play. It just makes it a lot nicer of an experience. See, there we go, there we go. See, these all need to be painted from the bottom too, so that they don't like have white shining through. Can always be annoying to get to. Mm-hmm. Go. All right. think that's good mixture. And that ashen gray and this, or ashen brown and this like bluish gray. I like it. I think it fits for him. I don't want it to go full black because black can be really overpowering. Also, it might get loud in a little bit just because my roommate and some of his family are going to be coming by, and I might have to stop in a moment just to say hello. Let's see, so this little bit in between these guys is going to be right there. Let's see, come on. It's hard to get in between them without painting the actual ropes. I think one of the harder parts about these guys is going to be their eyes, because it's like their face is very much not complete. Oh, let me just make sure to tell him that it's okay. Back in a moment. I believe he's in the other room, so let me just do this. Alrighty then, time to get back to work. You never realize how many distractions there are in the apartment and in general until you start streaming when you don't want distractions. But, you know, not something to mind all that much. It's not even that they're as distracting as I think, it's just that I get distracted very easily. So let's see. Boom, boom. Alright. This guy needs a little bit more color over here. A little bit of that. Like that. Cool, cool. And then looks like he needs a little bit more down here as well. painted in these little crevices. And that is one of the issues. There we go. I'll go over there. Actually, I do want to check on.
Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm through with playing by rules of
Okay, so that one, pretty good.
someone else's game. Too late for
I'm thinking I'm going to do the goat in that color. Alright, I think that would make sense. Bit of an ashen gray for the goat. Now, where did I put the goat? Ah, there he is.
trust my instinct. Close my eyes.
Okay. This one doesn't even need to be all too exact. I don't need to use the tiny brush for this, which is nice. Let's see. That one, no, that's a little bit too big. There we go. This one. Yeah, that should be good. Hopefully that'll also get everything into these little crevices.
Some things I cannot change, but till I try, I'll never know. Too long I've been afraid of losing love. I guess I've lost. Well, if that's love, it comes at much too high a cost. I'd sooner fight defying gravity. Kiss me goodbye. I'm defying gravity, and you won't bring me down.
Make sure that it's a little bit watered down so that it can get into all these little crevices and make it look good.
Limited,
Of course, gonna have to dry brush it a little bit.
unlimited, and I've just had a vision, almost like a prophecy. I know it sounds truly crazy, and true, the vision's hazy, but I swear someday I'll be flying so high. Kiss me goodbye. So if you care to find me, look to the western sky. As someone told me lately, everyone deserves a chance to fly. And if I'm flying so low, at least I'm flying free. To those who drowned me, take a message back from me. Tell them how I am defying gravity.
It's an interesting goat. It has horns both on top of its head and on the side of its head.
Soon I'll match them in renown. And nobody in all of Oz, no wizard that there is or was, is ever gonna bring me down.
in there, take off any excess. Oh, yeah, I'm not really into the song. Let's go with that one. All right. There's the goat. I think that's good. Yeah. All right. Wash off this paintbrush a little bit. And this one as well. I think that's enough for the ashen gray at the moment, actually. I think I might go on to a little bit of a darker brown, or a more browny brown. One moment. All right. So I've got a few different colors to choose from. I think I'm going to go with woodland brown. It seems like a kind of nice warm brown that I can use for a few different things. So let's go ahead, turn this a little bit. Some of this. Yeah, I like that color. So, now, where would I like to use this? Oh, one last thing with that other color, because I have just a little bit of it left. I am going to paint this guy's shoes in that color. And then, guess I'm gonna have to add another drop.
go. Should be enough. Use a slightly larger brush. This one should be fine. Alrighty. I think I'm going to be streaming till 5 p.m. Eastern time today. Might be back on later on, but I think that that's going to be my end time so that I can go ahead and go have dinner and the like, and then I'll be back. So, probably going to go for another 20 minutes or so. Get through the use of these colors over here that I have, and then once I do that, I should be fine. See, boom. Alright, one shoe down, one shoe to go. Sure to cover even the edge here, just like that. There we go. Shoes are done. Cool. Now for this other brown. What did I want to do with that? I think I wanted to get to some. I think first off, I'm going to do this guy. Seems to have a few different layers of like cloth here, but I think the bottom one, yeah, I think the bottom one is going to be this other color, brown. It's kind of lighter brown. So let's go ahead and do that. go. Make sure to get underneath, under the loincloth. Whoops. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Seems to blend in just a little bit with his skin color, unfortunately. Maybe I should have done it on the second level. Meh, too late now. Okay. He needed that kind of brighter brown. There we go. He needs some. So let's go ahead with this guy here. I think I'm going to do a leather in that for him. So let's see this bottom belt of his. Go. Okay, that's good. His kilt is going to be a little bit annoying because it's going to be plaid, so you know how that is. But I think I need to make, yeah, I think I like this as ashen gray. Oh, fudge. Oh man, it sucks when this happens, but it happens to everyone. Just you smack one of your miniatures across the face with some paint. Alright. Not bad. Not great. And then you drop them as well. Oh man, this guy is not having the best day, is he? Smacked across the face with some paint. Dropped. At least it didn't break him.
nice little parts over here. Trying not to get too much on the other pieces. Here's a bit of an ashen gray cloak like that. Alright, now this back part of him. Let's see, hopefully I have enough paint. Even a little bit more needed. Small dot. There we go. Hopefully that'll be just enough. I do not like wasting paint. There we go. Alrighty then.
All right. There we go. Bit of his cloak done. I think now I'm going to add a little bit to her because I want to do those belts. I'm almost done with her. There we go. Okay. Go. Adding those other details there. Those colors. Gives it a little bit of a nicer tinge. Just a little bit in there. There we go. There. Just like that. Cool. I guess this part is also probably this color. Alright. Well, looks like it is 5 o'clock. That's the time that I thought I was going to stop, so I think I am just going to let this be for the moment. And go ahead and end the stream here. Thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate anyone who actually came and watched. It was a lot of fun. I hope that you guys all enjoyed it. I will likely be back online later on today. So I will probably be doing this. I might change the setup a little bit, but I will be continuing to paint these Zombicide miniatures. Please like and subscribe on YouTube, as well as, following on Twitch if you would like to see more. We will also be going and playing Zombicide at some point in the future. So thank you very much for joining us, and I will see you all later.